So now let us get on to River season 6. Now this is this is a show that it's on Netflix, and especially bearing in mind that Netflix have been canceling a whole bunch of things recently. They've been canceling. I'm like, how on earth is this show on season 6? I'm like, A, how's it on season 6? B, why does it keep popping up in my timeline? And why does Netflix keep trying to get me to watch it? So so tell us about this, because it seems. Okay, I'll keep my prejudices. I'll shut up at the moment and just Sean, tell us about this.
Yeah, it's season 6 and it's been renewed for season 7 and 8.
What is going on?
But it is based on a series of books, apparently. I haven't read any of them.
You see, now that was going to be my first thing. It feels like it's based on the books.
Yeah, it's based on a series of books. So I'll give you a quick update as to where we get to in season 6. Basically, the main character is Mal. You see her in the screenshot of those of you who are watching and those of you who are listening. She's a very attractive woman in her 30s, who in the first season.
I'm like, she's an attractive woman in the 30s. She's the lead of a Netflix show. I'm surprised she's an attractive women. But
she was in Walking Dead, so you might recognize her as the one that was blonde in Walking Dead, and
doesn't narrow it down.
She had the 2 children and was in Alexandra, and her son was the one who shot Carl and lost his eye, and
all
of them are killed in that when the walkers attacked as a big swarm. She was killed. Yeah, that one. Yeah. She was there. She was in Walking Dead. So that's where you may recognize. Because I thought, where do I know her from? But anyway, she was the first season. She was widowed, and she lived in the big city. She's a nurse, and to get away from her sort of past and this sort of tragedy, she's moved to a more rural area, Virgin River. She's a nurse practitioner there in a small doctor's surgery, and it's in. I'm trying to think where exactly it is. I think it's like Northern California.
Right.
But it's sort of this rural, but not too rural. So it's like close enough that you can get to the cities, but it's still classed as like small town, rural California. And when she moves there, she gets this job as a nurse practitioner. And one of the first people she meets is Jack, the owner of the local bar. Now, he's a retired US Marine who's got his own traumas that he is carrying. And surprise, they form a relationship. And over the course of these 6 seasons, you see their relationship form and then progress through different stages. So they have their tragedies, they have their dramas, as you would in a Netflix series. Yeah. So that's the core of it. But around them, there are the people who work in the doctor's surgery. You've got he surrounds himself with a lot of his old Marine pals. So the guy who works, his chef, his best friend is the local police chief. One of his other sort of in his squad, but he's a bit of a bad boy. He's there as well. His sister ends up living there. Her sister gets involved. They have all friends. There's a lot. It's a whole network of people, and it does largely involve the entangled sort of love lives between them. Even the doctor and his wife, and it's this sort of tangled relationships and how they unfold against this sort of glorious background, because it's sort of certainly stunning. It's stunningly beautiful mountains and these sort of pine forests and the sort of the natural landscape of sort of Northern California that is sort of quite stunning. So, but at the heart of it is this relationship story between Mal and Jack as they go from first meeting, their eyes meet across
through a crowded bar.
And then to what the events of season 6. So the events of season, and the only thing I would say about it is it's excruciatingly slow in that over the 6 series, in actual real time, it's 6 years. Yeah. But in the story, it's only been about a year, 14, 15 months. So there was one character who was pregnant, and no word of a lie, she was pregnant for 4 seasons. And there's a joke in one of the episodes where she says, I feel like I've been pregnant forever. And it's like, yeah, you've been pregnant for 4 years. You get 1 a year. And she's like, So even though we've been with them for 6 years, actually the storyline is only like a year's worth of story, basically. And so there's a lot going on. There's sort of there's a crime, there's a bit of drama, there's a bit of tension, people get shot.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay.
it's complicated. It's a soap opera.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna ask her, would it be fair to call it a soap opera? And it sounds like that. So, okay, I have a couple of questions. Why have you been watching for 6 seasons?
Well, they're quite short. They're only like 6 to 8 episodes. I
Yep.
first watched it during lockdown when,
Ah.
and that's where I first discovered it. I think me and my mum watched the first 2 or 3 seasons, and then they had a lockdown season where you could tell everyone is like very distanced, and you only get certain scenes with a couple of people at a time. So it went through lockdown, but I discovered it during lockdown when it was just me and my mum living together
Yeah.
for those sort of 6 to 8 months in isolation, and we would pick a series and we would watch 2 episodes every night, and we got through things like Anne with an E. We went through When It Calls the Heart. We went through all these things that women of a certain age would resonate with them. But sort of, I can see the three of you look really blank. But those are sort of programs that kept people like me going through the lockdown
No,
in
no,
terms
no.
of entertainment.
I am not. I am not here to sort of like, I'm not here to sort of have a go at anybody for the things that keep them going. I am not here to have a go at
That's
anybody.
it. No.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, but it's just helpful to know what kind of show it is. Like, did you ever see a show called?
Do
Did
you
you
like
see a
the
show?
characters? Do you like the characters? Do you warm to the cat? You must do, I guess, if you like it.
Sort of, it's one of those things I put on, and then I'm doing something. I'm sewing, or Holly is very much. There's something going on. I'm knitting. I'm sewing. I'm doing jigsaws. There's always something going on. I don't give it my entire attention because after a while you go, oh, goodness sake.
Will
Especially
you
one of
just
them.
stop being stupid?
Oh yeah, there's one lady who was like she started off with like a periphery character, but the more she's in it, and honestly, I could just bite her. She's just not in a good way. I could just go, oh, you just, oh. I say to my mum when she's really frustrating me, I say, oh, I could just bite you. And she's someone who just really, I find really annoying. So yeah, there are those characters in it.
Okay,
But,
okay.
but the core, sometimes they're just too good to be true, or they just make you want to spit. But on the whole, they're genuinely sort of, largely likable.
Okay, so how many stars would you give this?
I'd give it 3. I mean, because it took me about 2 months to get through all of season 6, because I watched a couples and they'd be like, oh, it's a little bit, I'll probably end up with diabetes if I watched it every night. But not too bad. It's entertaining. It does what it's supposed to do. It's escapism. It's entertainment. Everyone is glamorous. Everyone is, gorgeous in their own way. I mean, even the older women or the older men, they're handsome. They're beautiful. They're well turned out. Everything is just tip top. So if you like that sort of fantasy escapism, I wouldn't. If I went to Northern California and said I'm going to get a job here, that is not the world I would walk into.
Ooh, look at that! There's this hunky barman who looks like it's just like his name is Sawyer.
And every other man was an ex-Marine, and he's still he's a fireman, and he's a it's just like it's just Alaska men all over again.
I was about to ask whether you ever saw a TV show called Men in Trees.
No, but I probably would.
Yeah. So it's a show called Men in Trees, and it starred Anne Hecht. This was in 2006, and it seems like for me it's the progenitor of all these shows of city woman moves to small rural community and finds the secret to life kind of shows, which tends to be a lot of hunky men, which seems to be the case. And there's a bit of me that's actually quite happy that these kind of shows exist and that they work and that they're finding an audience. And there's a bit of me that just cannot be bothered.
That's fine. But this would probably not be made anywhere else in the world, because I don't think we would get away with it. I think I don't think we're capable of making this sort of show in Britain, because we would not be able to resist doing it for laughs. We would not be able to take it seriously. But they play it completely straight. And there's humour in it, but they actually take what they do really seriously. It's like when Calls the Heart, I had to give up on that because it was just too much, even for me.
You'll get Sharon.
But no, it's a definitely entertaining. It's a three. I mean, it's if you want that fantasy escapism, this heightened reality that bears no resemblance to reality at all, then yeah, love it, do it, enjoy it.
Okay, you just reminded me of something that could very possibly be like a British take on a very similar thing. There's a show on Channel 4 called The Change, about a woman who sort of leaves her family and everything like that to go to a rural thing, but it's very different. It's very British. That way, as to what actually happens with that. All right, and the final thing I just wanted to ask about this is, how does this differ from all those Hallmark Christmas movies where a woman leaves a city, goes to a small town, and finds a many secrets to life, which is usually a hunky man?
Oh, it's just spread over 8 seasons.
It's a Hallmark movie spread over 8 seasons, and I think on that note, that is the poster quote from Sharon Boland about Virgin River. It's a Hallmark movie spread over 6 seasons, or 8 seasons now, as we go to